David Christopher Kaufman joining us live from New York City. Thank you so very much for your time tonight. Well, I will be asking you, I suspect not for the first time, the recurring question. It's either we are too scared, not scared enough, or just the right amount of scared. Imagining a Mamdani term in office, where do you think we're at?
I think, first, thank you for having me. I think that for those who are scared, they could not be, there is no limit to being scared enough. As I've written many times, and as many folks have commented, Mamdani in many ways represents an existential threat to Jewish New Yorkers, to Jewish New York as we know it. It's not just simply because he has been so adept at weaponizing anti-Semitism and weaponizing anti-Zionism and anti-Israel rhetoric in his campaign. If Mamdani is elected as mayor of New York, he will institutionalize this worldview and have sort of the backing, the imprimatur of City Hall behind him. This will send a very strong message to New York that the kind of rhetoric that he has deployed throughout this campaign, attacking Israel, threatening to arrest Netanyahu, repeatedly using the term genocide to describe Israel's war in Gaza. This will be now accepted and mainstreamed, and leaders, progressive leaders across the nation will certainly take notice.
Yeah. So what starts, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, right? That's the political legacy. Should he actually get elected? But there appears to be a decline in Mamdani's lead, a slight rise in Cuomo's polling numbers. Is it real or just polls?
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of polls, and as we saw with Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton, in the end, the polls don't necessarily mean anything. Don't forget, Andrew Cuomo, who's now running against Mamdani again, was upwards of 15 points ahead of Mamdani in June during the Democratic primary and lost. So we don't know exactly. There's a lot of polls saying a lot of different things, but the current polls do show very clearly that Mamdani's 20-point lead over Cuomo has declined. It's now at around 10% lead over Mamdani. 10% lead is still enough to get him elected, but it does suggest that the sort of universal and ubiquitous fawning over Mamdani that we've seen by the mainstream media and, of course, by his expansive supporter class is declining, and there is a chance that Cuomo, now endorsed by current Mayor Eric Adams, could actually win.
Well, and not mentioning even the fact that Mamdani is pulling the I card, not Israel, this time Islamophobia. So in this respect, briefly, if you can, David Christopher Kaufman, this final stretch of the race, what should we expect campaign-wise?
I think we're going to see, as we've seen over the last week, increased, detailed, heavily nuanced attacks against Mamdani. Finally, Cuomo and the wide range of political action groups that want Cuomo to win, they're now asking very, very tough questions. So now scrutinizing Mamdani in a way that he has not been scrutinized. One of the key reasons he's succeeded so masterfully is because he's avoided the kind of scrutiny by the mainstream media that would typically accompany any sort of politician. Part of that is because he's just so young. He hasn't really had a job. He hasn't really done much. So he hasn't really had a paper trail to scrutinize. Now the scrutiny is revving up, and we're seeing the screws tighten around Mamdani, asking hard questions, and this is resulting in the beginning of disillusion by supporters with the candidate.
Too little, too late remains to be seen. One thing's for certain: we'll be talking to you again, David Christopher Kaufman, the one and only. Thank you very much for